Cips clip.
Tonight at 11.
Doom! It's a plan! And I'm angry! I'm not a slave! I've broken the conditioning! It doesn't work on me! I'm primitive, I'm real, I know the enemy, and if we can have this spirit of normal humanity spread, it's over for the globalist! Break the conditioning now! Excuse me.
This is not the InfoWars Nightly News, where the answer to 1984 is not $19.95 plus shipping and handling, but the answer is to try and understand the double-barrel bullcrap, the double-speak, and the Orwellian wonderland we now find ourselves in. So sit back and relax as I take you through a real alternative look at the news and so-called alternative media alike. Enjoy.
Cips clips.
Alrighty, YouTubes, another one of Cips clips. Ta-da! I got there in the end. I was trying to do some last minute bullcrap. But anyway, welcome to this week's Not the InfoWars Nightly News Live, motherfuckers. Tonight, along with a lot of other topics in the Truth Industrial Complex, overlapping agendas from the independent Truth Industrial Complex media, I'll be touching on the Brian Harvey story. I think I'm actually getting my head round it and the main players, and hopefully put it in some form of simple, because this is just my humble opinion, by the way, from trying to soak it all in, because he's so emotionally involved. Like anybody, like me included, even more so, if you were fracking. It's fucking fracking. Oh. Thanks, Gazprom. Anyway. Oh God, man. Where's my producer? I'm looking at him. He's doing a good job. How hard is it to get a camera without fucking going into earthquake mode? Ah! Fucking hell, man. Somebody's telling me to turn off the camera tonight for some reason. So I'm going to try and put it in a simplify the Brian Harvey thing. Let me fucking train of thought forget. Anyway, as well as touch on other points from the Truth and Industrial Complex. Oh yeah, I was talking about Brian Harvey. It's for some people, me for a while as well, it's hard to get your head round a coherent story from start to finish and how it all linked together. There were so many actors and players and so on and so forth. And it's because he was so emotionally involved. And I think I've got it in a sort of a simple form, so I'm going to touch on that as well as a host of other things. So in the evening, one and all, remember, if you do appreciate Not the InfoWars Nightly News Live, motherfuckers, make sure you thumbs it up, share it with your friends, family and foes. Please help the channel and the show grow. I rely on you guys to do that for the channel and the shows, because the YouTube cross-promotion days are over and done with. There's a Patreon and PayPal buttons down below. If you get value and appreciate what I do, it's digital busking. Everything's available and accessible free of charge. I hope to do such a good job that people will consider using their spare change, not your life savings, and use the Patreon and PayPal buttons down below. And a mega thanks to everybody that does. And welcome to the Island of Independence, where war is over, on Hustoria. If you want to check out how I done it, look at the playlist on my channel. The real elections and the real Declaration of Independence. Anyway, I digress. So let me see if I can maybe do this and show you what else is on tonight. So I'm going to start off at the start with Brian Harvey and break it down a wee bit and the simplification of what I believe is happening, without being emotionally attached. And then, because one thing watching him, you can see he's raging, man. So it's like that's the emotional attachment, and he has so much to say about the whole scenario. But simplify it, I'll try and do that. Then what the hell have I got? Russian bots. I think that's Mark Dice. God, I don't know what that is. I need to figure that out when I Play it from 135. The red F.E.A.R, a wee bit of Chinese F.E.A.R. Ken O'Theef, remember this guy? Never, has anybody, has he ever came out and explained what he done with that hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands of pounds that he took from people? How many Muslims sitting on the wall? Can't remember who that is, but anyway, we'll get that. Party political broadcast, Mike Rivero, literally begging you to go down, and he's like, this is his words: vote for a Republican, any Republican, I don't care, just any Republican. I mean, the mask is off, but anyway, I'll show you that. The three dons of the New World Order, Nut Job, Putin and Trump alliance. Tim Baldy Fool, touching on him. Stefan the Iron Giant Molyneux on the Islam and Iran. On the Islam train, sorry. Alex Homeless Man Jones. My God, I'm even beginning to feel my empathies. You're like, boom, 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 boom. He's growing a big beard as if he's like fucking in war, and he's like, oh, the bag's under his eye. Oh, I do feel sorry for him, but not too much. The Cult of Tommy, we'll be touching a wee bit on that towards the end. Britain First, shutting down the alt-right, all this so-called censorship, when Twitter asked these people not to bake a gay cake. And Twitter should have the right to ask people, don't bake gay cakes on my platform. I don't want gay cake tweets on my Twitter sphere. Got it? Good. Private company, private rules, terms and conditions. Go over there and weep mofo about censorship. You can still walk down the street and say your fucking gobshite stuff. It's just nobody who you're trying to... The power structure who you're trying to take over from aren't going to give you their platform to shoot, to use to propagandise the people. It's as simple as equation as that. You can argue the wrongs and rights of it, and please don't get wrapped up in the freedom of speech stuff. They putting a Celtic strip on, putting a Rangers strip on, going into a Celtic supporters club, and reminding them you can tell with the smell isn't exercising freedom of speech. And who's to blame for causing a riot? Right, let's say nobody even gets fucking brutally fucking punched the shit out of, or anything bad like that, any good stuff like that. Let's say there's just a minor riot or disturbance. Who's to blame? Is it the person in the theatre shouting fire? You're in the theatre shouting fire. I mean, how many? Think of the consistency of point of view here. Anyway, sorry, I'm Britain First over in Northern Ireland, and I'm stealing money off of each other and all that. It's funny. You find these people turn out to be low-life thieves. The South Africa agenda, there's a bits and bobs, lots of people pointing in the direction of South Africa, for all of a sudden, for some weird reason, and Sweden. You know what I mean? They're the centre of the world nowadays. Sweden agenda, South Africa agenda, then we'll get Sugar Tits Sutherland to finish off. So first, going to Brian Harvey. There we go. And before I go into him, I'll say hi to everybody in the chat. Oh, I forgot I can do this. And right, I'll say it from Rick Woods in the evening. How you doing? Sarah Jane in the evening, guys and girls. Thanks for joining. Richie, how you doing, my man? Listen, I caught your comment about starting it at 8 bells. It is something I could look into. Somebody take a poll and Skype me. Skype details are below and let me know. 8 o'clock, starting at 8 o'clock would suit people better. Devon, Alan in the evening, gents. Jamesy boy, how you doing, my man? Rick Woods, Charlotte, Dino, how you doing, my man? Rab in the evening, guys and girls. There's Maranatha, Truth. Easy for me to say, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Rab, Apple, Tom, Devon, Richie, Rab, Tom, aka Doom, Jamesy boy, and the fucking best guy in the house, Bob Marley. So thank yous very much, guys and girls, for joining. So let's get on with the bullcrap. Now, I don't know where I want to start. I don't know what I've got here, so let me just getting on to the blower to my producer.
Andrew, can I just... there's one question I need to...
I think he'll just go straight into this. Oh no, that isn't even the one I want to do. It's this one. Right. I don't know if, the best of my understanding how this links into even E17. His Red Pill Phil interview, man, was like fucking an hour and 15 minutes talking about E17. But he fell out with E17 manager, and it so happened, and it looks like a lot of pop group managers, they have ties into the PR world, and part of that PR world, to promote their bands, obviously. They've got a product, they want to promote it, and they need fucking newspapers to give them good, positive PR for their bands. So they're usually linked into some sort of... And it looked like his manager was linked in to the News of the World cabal. And when he done a dirty on them, and there was like whatever animosity, whatever beef was going on between them, it got to the stage where the manager of E17 not only flung him out the band, but then went about to try and smear him in the newspaper, get him, make sure he'd never work again, which he did promise to do. So he used his connections in the News of the World to promote or shine light on Brian Harvey that he didn't like. So that's how Brian Harvey's animosity and bullcrap with the newspapers came about. It was through his animosity with one of the clique, one of the PR members, which was the band manager of E17, which must have made a good few million quid back in the day, you know. It was like, anyway, I digress. Then, through the News of the World mob trying to go after Brian Harvey, he was phone tapped, and as part of the washout of the phone tapping, when all these celebrities were coming out and getting their payoff, so on and so forth, because there was evidence of a lot of them getting phone tapped, it looks like it transpires that he got phone tapped as well. Which there's then that. Then he argues about phone tapping and phone hacking, the difference between using a password and gaining access to voicemails, and deliberately, and then directly, or however they're doing it, intercepting phone calls between people. And he alleges there's evidence for both. So that's how, and through his recording, and through solicitor's notes that he's got a hold of, it puts one of the hackers, that's again one of the PR cabal, News of the World members, Kellaway, I think his name is. Kellaway, in the frame, but it's the News of the World clique, and this Kellaway guy's sniffing all around the Millie Dowler hacking and that whole nightmare for the News of the World clique back in the day. So it looks like when he told Bill Maloney through an email that he had a solicitor's, a transcript of an interview with Kellaway talking about phone hacking Brian Harvey. That's when Brian Harvey says that Bill Maloney set him up, and he attempted to set him up by injecting into his head false names of paedophiles, so that later Brian Harvey could then get persecuted by every fucking letter of the law and discredited and drove mental and, like, you know what I mean, put under a lot of pressure. And that's basically the run of events that Brian Harvey is saying here. So let me go to a few wee short bits. The first one is 23 minutes. So that's how he links into the truther-industrial complex. And that's how Bill Maloney, underneath the... it's also linked in with the Express crowd. The Andrew Nash guy that he's talking about is the guy that was... one of the guys that was used to try and set him up, allegedly, by very cleverly constructing a scenario where he would be there and names would be getting said. They would never get put on camera. They would never get alleged by anybody, but he would be aware of the names, and he believes that he was made aware of these names to try and make him go out and start blah, 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 blah. And all these names later, and the Andrew Nash guy later get found, well, in the law get found to be talking shite and came out and said he was lying and all forms of craziness. And Bill Maloney fucked off. So Brian Harvey's got a lot of... this is the...
They want to see what's on.
This is the best explanation.
2015. I was never so they were silly enough to keep it on that computer. That's on a drive out of the house. But they wanted to see what I knew. And so they've taken my computers on this bogus fucking excuse of malicious communication, when clearly this geezer was having a go at me first, Ian Puddick. You've all seen it. Sectioned, 2015. I was never sectioned. So why wasn't he dealt with? Yeah? You've seen the guy's own tweets. Senior cops help me. Right? And all of this stuff. But if this geezer's a plumber, why has he got senior cops helping him? Why is he talking to judges, R.E. Janner case? Why is he interviewing Andrew Ash? Who is this guy? Clearly he's not a plumber, which is why I keep saying this guy must be MI5. I don't know what else to say, mate. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't who you say you are at the end of the day. And clearly you got the old Bill doing you favours, and you've taken my computers when really I reported you long before you reported me. But they don't pick up on my report, they only pick up on your report. And yet you're the bloke who's supposed to have had this case against the police. Oh, corrupt police, and they brutalised me, and they did this, and they did that. Fuck off, mate. Fuck off. Do me a favour. And Ian, what's your relationship to this bloke? Do you know him? I think you do. As a matter of fact, I'm sure you do. But we'll get to that. So I want to play you some more clips anyway, yeah? Because like these are fucking blinding. These are blinding. You need to hear some of these. So this is Andrew Ash.
Right, now I'm going to go to his best explanation of this whole thing. Please go and watch this in its entirety, by the way. I'm just trying to do a best of bits.
Bill was supposed to do, well, which he did do, an interview with Andrew the next morning, which was for Pie and Mash Films, which, strangely enough, Bill never posts up, you know.
He's talking about Bill Maloney interviewing Andrew Nash. This was the guy who went out on the newspaper, the Express. In the newspaper, it was like young boy sleeps with female MP. In the Daily Express, in the Express, that's the UKIP paper, the City of London one, and one that supported Farage and all that. And they're the ones that were working with Bill Maloney, with this Andrew Nash, for involving fucking this guy, and involving Brian Harvey, and dropping all these names in.
No, it was for me to post up with all of those fake names in it so that I could get in trouble, because I've got Robert Kellaway's police witness statement that on the day I got it, I copied in Bill Maloney on it, and Bill Maloney went and rung his funder, Ian Puddick, who knows Neil Wallace at the News of the World, who I've got evidence against. It's not that complicated to work out, really, is it?
I love that. It was like, isn't it that complicated? That's the most fucking coherent bit where he draws a few lines, draws a wee picture in your mind, the links between them all. And then I can even draw in the E17 guy. There's a News of the World link there as well.
Yeah. So this is Andrew talking about when we're in the cabin after the Express interview, that same evening, when I'm supposed to be going back to do the edit, but Bill brings Andrew back with us. That was all planned. The cabin that we were staying in had already been pre-bugged because Andrew says that Bill's got recordings of us in that place. Right? So, but listen anyway. You notice the way
41:55.
that he went, right, me and Chris are going to go to bed now. Alright, and then he's walked you into our, because he tells me to do a video diary, do you remember?
Yeah, that place was booked.
Oh, 100%. 100% that place was bugged.
But now didn't know which one good to go to.
Oh, mate, 100% that place was bugged to fuck, mate. They was listening in the other room.
This is when my head still turns to mush. Because you don't know whether to believe this guy, because he's been proven to be a fucking liar and lying to all sorts of people. But Brian Harvey's obviously got videotape of him saying this version of events, which shows you the whole fucking thing's a clusterfuck. But let's say there's an essence to there's an essence of truth to what's going on here. Bill Maloney used these guys, and then Bill Maloney's link to the Truth and Industrial. Oh, he was a literal. He was a child line. He was like he was a Hoover for fucking pedo victims, so they can do damage control. Anyway, let's.
It's got to be. Things weren't going out, the thing comes out and they did that spark you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because things weren't working out as it planned because we were just into laughing, having a joke. You know, and just...
Well, you said yourself, man, if Settle knows that you're on it and that, he'll be recording.
Yeah, but...
DCI Paul Settle, he was recording me, mate, and I knew the whole time.
I don't know if it was... I don't think it was... I don't know.
Well, whoever does the bugging,
He
does
know.
know.
What's being built, but I don't know.
Right, he does know, because he knows that the cabin's bugged. And Andrew knows that he rung the police to tell him that I'm coming down with Bill. Not that they didn't already know, because Bill clearly knows the police. And they know that I'm coming down, and taking me to the cabin after we filmed Andrew in the Express interview was all planned. And if the place is being bugged, then we know that the police were in on it. Why would the police be in on it? Because the police are in trouble as well for taking on Robert Kellaway's illegal recordings of me back in 2002. Robert Kellaway's recorded me illegally. You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to phone tap. And the police are not allowed to take on compilations from News of the World journalists who have secretly covert recorded and phone tapped someone without a warrant from the Home Office, which they would never be able to obtain. Right? They're not allowed to do that. And why the police are bugging, hoping to catch me out and entrap me, is because they was requesting it from Robert Kellaway. And not only did they take them on and not get the original unedited tapes from them and do their own transcripts, but on the basis of it all, they put me in prison for a month. So the police are complicit. So this is why I think you'll find that I'm being rubbish left, right and centre, told that I'm crazy, told that I'm mad, and because they're all in on it. And the Crown Prosecution Service, right? Because the Crown Prosecution Service is still making a decision for Ian Puddick, who funded this whole trip, which is admitted, right? The CPS is still
When we sat down and
making
we
a
done the
decision on whether to charge me, which is fucking ridiculous. The CPS were involved. They're the ones that put me in prison in the first place. Do you know what I mean? On phone tapping evidence saying that I breached
Right, let's go to 54 where he talks a wee bit more about Bill Maloney.
I've just got to go back again now. I just really have got to go back again.
But they didn't pull Bill down, and then you Bill all this, and you Bill knew the truth. Yeah.
They didn't put Bill down, talking about Panorama. They didn't put Bill down. They didn't include him in the Panorama either. Right? And Bill knew the truth. Hear it again.
Yeah. That may say anything about Bill. Just they said that they didn't, but they didn't pull Bill down, and then you Bill all this, and you Bill knew the truth.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do get what you're saying. That's because that's why Bill Maloney wasn't included in the Panorama. That I was told Panorama was going to do a hatchet job on me, Andrew, John Wedger, right? That's what I was told. But Bill Maloney wasn't included in that hatchet job. And Panorama are even telling Andrew, who they're calling David on Panorama, that Bill Maloney's wife's an actress. It just fucking gets worse and worse, doesn't it? And this is just the tip of the iceberg, by the way. Don't think by any means that this is all I've got. This is going to get really bad for you, Bill, right? Because you don't do to me what you fucking tried to do to me. You try to put me in prison, mate. You tried to get me done for perverting the course of justice so that Murdoch and his fucking mates would have a reason to discredit me in the public eye so you wouldn't have to face the phone hacking. That's what the truth is to all of this, yeah? That's what the real truth is. But they will have you believe that I'm mad and I'm a nutcase and I'm a druggie and he's got clones and we're all coming to get you. We're going to war. Yeah, we are going to fucking war, mate. We are. Because you don't go around doing this to celebrities and victims and fucking doing what you want and get to walk off away in the fucking sunset, mate. You don't, yeah? You fucking don't. No fucking way, mate.
Yeah. But listen.
Right, 58. That's a good wee bit as well.
And comes down. So it was all fucking planned, right? I hope you're seeing this now. You know, I hope you're, you know, you're not just sitting there fucking putting the boot into me. Oh, he's a wanker. This is fucking serious stuff. This is serious, mate. This is what goes on behind the fucking scenes. This is what happens to victims that try and come forward. You get this team of people that end up turning up.
The trutherindustrialcomplex.
Right? Gathering round the victims and the people that have got some truth that could bring down some big people. They rally round them, right? And fucking take them apart and discredit them. This is what Bill Maloney is. This is what these people are. And people can slag me off all you want, but you know I'm right. I'm right, and they are wrong. And no one can fucking change that. No matter how much they try.
If you go and listen to the whole thing, he has got phone recordings talking about Bill Maloney and the Panorama thing that it's, and then go and look into this Andrew Ash, not Nash, or Gash, Andrew Ash guy, and you see the full story and all that, and what he's putting forward. I don't know if I've tried to explain it yet though. The whole meeting, his premise is he was led to be there, thinking everybody's good in the hood, interviewing this guy who'd been set up to say all these names, and then he was meant to come out and say all these names and then get the fucking legally go after him, sue him. All the consequences are coming out and making claims against people in the public eye and all that, or like just discredit them and all that bullcrap. And it's not because he's a conspiracy theorist or anything like that. It's because he has got a transcript from a lawyer of a police interview of that Kellaway admitting to knowing about phone hacking. which is bad for the news of the world. And then that Ian Puddick guy, he was involved in the Andrew Ash thing. For whatever reason, Andrew Ash thought he was the police, and he's got connections to the police. And he's not just a plumber; he's a city plumber from the City Guild of Plumbers. It is quite compelling shit, man. And the Express in the News of the World, Rupert Murdoch and oh god, I forgot the name. Richard Desmond, I think, is the owner of that. Check out these characters. Very much neocons, the pair of them. And you could see how they would have that wee sort of a structure below them to manage PR for them. And it wouldn't. And you would be surprised if the PR firm wouldn't have connections in the music industry. With boy bands and girl bands and all that stuff. Easy money, innit? Anyway, it's quite compelling stuff. He's got now. Then the last bit, which I think it even gets a wee bit better at the end. It's kind of crazy, right? There's a conspiracy. His battery ran out, but it did started getting really good at the end. Right, that's what I felt at the time. And then his battery ran out, man. Well, it looks like his battery ran out. He was talking about it earlier on. I can't remember what he was talking about here, but
all as gospel, and we're just getting played here. We're getting played by these people. They don't give a fuck about us. They're just playing us. You know, leave people alone, man. Let them get on with their life. Stop bleeding them for their money and fucking their children and telling them they're wrong all the time. Fuck me, man. Seriously, mate. Like, seriously.
And it was Bill that made me feel really scared around.
Yeah, Bill's the one that does the intimidating, and Chris is trying to... And I'll tell you why I know Chris F.E.A.R. Chris F.E.A.R. is probably the one behind the Richard Mallet line, because when you give out, when you know, when you do the list and he goes, you know, he's reading off the list and you're going, yeah, no, and Chris F.E.A.'s going, confirmed, right? At the end of it, when Bill goes, Andrew has slept with many different people, very prominent people, people from the banking industry, blah, blah, blah industry, very important people, and Chris F.E.A.R. goes, and lawyers. There was only one lawyer on that list, Richard Mallet. There was only one lawyer on that list, and Chris goes, and lawyers. And Richard Mallet is the lawyer. And you don't know Richard Mallet. There you go. Do you know what? I'm going to finish on that clip. Andrew does not know Richard Mallet. Bill put him up to it, told him to say it. Now, ask yourself why Andrew Ash would say yes to having slept with Richard Mallet, my phone hacking solicitor, who I just caught hiding Robert Kellaway's witness statement before Robert Kellaway was going to give evidence to the Leveson inquiry and lie and say he knew nothing about phone hacking. Right? Next minute I'm being walked into filming Andrew, and you can see what's going on here. It's bloody obvious, isn't it? Well, it's more than obvious. It's fucking self-evident. I mean, it's right there. And, I mean, look, I've still got another 5 hours of these conversations to go through yet. And I'm going to go through them and I'm going to drop down. I mean, there's going to be probably a couple of hundred of these clips by the time I'm finished. It's disgusting, man. You know, and these people are still out there now, roaming about free. I mean, not so much probably Chris F.E.A.R. I mean, I don't know if I even believe the story that he's been arrested perverting the course of justice, simply based on the fact that, you know, DCI Settle from Scotland Yard had gone to him to start the ball rolling on this. The other concerning fact is that once I'd filmed all of this, come home, and realised what I had here on tape, I had to fight tooth and nail to get the police to come round here. No one would come round. I mean, you know why now.
So this is quite telling. When he was there filming this guy with all these names of MPs and all that floating around, rather than just coming on fucking YouTube or going out and go blah 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 blah, he phoned the cops. Sounds like a kind of genuine response to somebody that's just went like, oh my fucking lordy, lordy, lordy. Anyway.
Because what was I going to do with this footage, you know? What was I going to do? Go out there and try and sell it? Or, of course I wasn't. I got straight onto the police and I had to force them to take a 1 terabyte hard drive off me with all of these interviews on, so that I knew I'd done the right thing with the footage and gave it to the police. And then I managed to get a meeting with Simon Danchuk, who appeared to be fighting child abuse. You know, the Rochdale MP that had taken over from the area where Cyril Smith, the paedophile, his constituency used to be.
Now I believe you sort of get a glimpse of the infrastructure that's there to manage victims, create them, like create stories. Maybe it's just the PR department. Maybe it's to manage victims. He got balled deep because they were trying to bring him down with feeding him hundreds of bullshit.
And
which he didn't parrot. He done the worst thing. He went out and fucking went like to the cops. You're fucked it completely up. It does make sense to me when I get my head around it.
To meet Simon Danchuk in Portcullis House, and basically Tom Watson MP is sitting over to the right from us. I saw him watching me as we went in. You know, we went into Portcullis House.
Tom Watson MP. So and this is the guy that managed the oh wow, he's the deputy leader now. Whew. He managed the Rochdale case.
Met Simon Danchuk, went and sat at one of the
It's amazing. Oh God, got his reward all right, didn't he?
Tables. There was about 4 or 5 of us around this table, and just over to the right there, I could see Tom Watson MP looking over. My friend Mick, who was sitting on the table with us, got up, walked straight over to Tom Watson MP, because we'd heard that he'd funded Andrew Ash originally and told him, do your story. Now, we didn't know whether that was fully true or not, but this is what we'd heard. And Mick got straight up and walked straight over to Tom Watson MP and went, you're Tom Watson, aren't you? You're the one that funded Andrew and told him to do his story. And he's gone, yes. He's gone, yes. Then Mick's gone, Brian, come here, come here. And I've walked over and I've gone, you're Tom Watson, aren't you? You're the one that funded Andrew and told him to do his story. And he's gone, yes, again. There's 2 yeses in Parliament, Portcullis House. I can prove I was there. There's a picture online with me, with Simon Danchuk in Portcullis House, with Mick and OJ, the bloke that's run away, who was supposed to be doing my case and fucked off. You know, we can prove we was there. And Tom Watson writes his email down for me on one of them parliamentary cards. I think it was Tom Rowton's card, baggymp@hotmail.co.uk, and says, I want to talk to you. Also, Tom Watson MP not only was in the centre of triggering off the child abuse inquiry by standing up in Parliament and going, we have clear and concise evidence of a paedophile ring operating out of Downing Street and all this bollocks, right? Not only was he the bloke that done that, but also Tom Watson MP was the bloke who was grilling the Murdochs in the Leveson inquiry. So,
and if there's an inquiry into somebody, you truly want your man on the inside to be the one grilling you? All theatre.
I had my phone hacking evidence with me, the ring binder. You know the ring binder that they said, when they spun it the first time, and said, Brian Harvey's here talking about money that the government owe him. See, they even told a lie there. They tell a lie every time I say anything, they're going
to be fair, he was going, give me money and I'll go away and shit, but just anger. You need to look at the context, but he did give them the ammunition.
to lie about it. And I gave that evidence to Tom Watson. I opened it up, put it on his lap and went, look at that. Now this geezer should have been doing backflips, man, roly-polies and that, all over Parliament, knocking chairs out of the way. I can't believe it, fucking trying to do backflips and all sorts. But he weren't. He weren't.
And this is him drug-free, man. Oh, it's scream.
He didn't want to see it. Because we are being shown theatre by these people. And they are involved. I mean, why would Tom Watson MP say yes to funding Andrew Ash twice in Parliament? Why would he say that? You know, I've got a witness for it. Why would he say that? And why, when I put the phone tapping evidence on your lap from the same month that Millie Dowler was done by the same journalist, would you not try and do a quick backflip? Why wouldn't you do that? I'll tell you why. Because they don't want to get to the bottom of this. It's all a big fucking cover-up. And I'm not to be believed because I used to be an E17 and I took some pills once and I've lost it. You know, I've lost the plot. He's on drugs and, well, we know I'm not on drugs. I've already smashed that one. I've still got it, yeah? Yeah? Still got it. Don't worry. Look, it's important to me, right, that all of you know how much bollocks you're being fed. And although, you know, there's some people out there that don't like me and think, oh, he's a wanker and all the rest of it, I actually am trying to do the right thing here. And I've put my neck on the line for a country that mostly fucking hates me. And I've done nothing wrong to no one. You know, and I'm, you know, I want us to live in a better place, man. I do. I want us to live in a better place. This is fucked up. This is wrong. I mean, how many of the child abuse victims or the whistleblowers, not the police whistleblowers, how many of these victims have got any justice? None of them. How many victims have gone to prison over speaking out? Now you're talking. Quite a few.
I honestly think the battery ran it. Anyway, I quite enjoyed that, and things are, for me, coming a wee bit clearer with the E17 falling out with the manager, who was part of the News of the World crew. They're using phone hacking on him, not only because he was a celebrity, but also because he was Danuela Westbrook or something's boyfriend at some point. He ended up with a transcript from a lawyer that they tried to bury, to get rid, to dilute it from phone hacking to phone tapping. Or not, sorry, phone hacking to phone tapping. The difference between hacking voicemails and tapping people's phones. And it looks like the News of the World crew and then the Express crew. Bill Maloney using the Express to get Andrew Ash's story out about paedophiles and MPs, and then the campaign, the smear campaign, was leaking that it was Leon Britton, and trying to and other members as well, and trying to get them to come out and talk about this in public, and then later down the day, any public figures with a bit of money, it was even a small bit of money, even the house or something, who says that shit in public, somebody can come along and whip it all away for you. and that can mentally break the best of people. And if you're mentally broke, never mind monetary broke as well, you can't afford solicitors, and you've no capital, no equity, and you're less likely to pursue these things and go away. But you make up your own mind. I know I have been making up my own mind, and I can laugh and take the piss out of fucking the best of cunts, man. But I always like to say we are all human beings, and this guy sounds like he's went through the ringer. And fuck, what can I say? He was so paranoid that he was recording fucking every conversation he ever had with anybody ever. Hours of stuff, man. And it can be a bit disjointed at times. But the timeline, for the best, simplest way of putting it for me, he's fallen out with the E17 manager. The E17 manager promised to end his career. He used his connections in the news of the world to smear him and set him up in the news of the world with coke allegations with his girlfriend and all sorts of shit. It transpired they were phone hacking him and stuff, and he managed to get some incriminating stuff against Kellaway. Kellaway was the one that was fucking tagged in the $1 million story where they used the stuff that they hacked. And it's quite compelling shit. And then after that, Bill Maloney rocks up and goes, "Hey Brian, you want to save the world? Who doesn't want to go out there and save the world for paedophiles?" And then took him away with this Andrew Ash guy who looks like you could pretty much program it to get him to say anything at any time to anybody. Let's be honest, doesn't sound the most sharpest of tools. And then the Bill Maloney, according to Brian Harvey, made this guy say lots of names, coaxed him into saying lots of celebrity names and stuff for the purpose of other people to come out and say that, and then at a later date be legally fucked by that. Well, all the time Bill Maloney would go under the radar because he would never mention any of the names. Neither did the Express. So the Express, the newspapers, never mentioned any of the names. Bill Maloney never mentioned any of the names publicly. It was left to Brian Harvey, with all the tapes and all that, to come out and mention it publicly. So interesting shit. You can go onto Brian Harvey's channel and get all the interviews and stuff. That's him taking a drugs test, and yeah, it is actually him taking a drugs test. Crazy mofo, man. That was a female MP abuse thing that Andrew Ash was involved in. Anyway, thought that was a worthwhile subject touching on, so hopefully you enjoyed that. I know I did. So let's have a wee look at some other of the areas of the truth-for-industrial complex and the bastion, all their overlapping agendas, and as they all protest to be independent. So Russian bots. This is a wee bit of Mark Dice.
Stephen Colbert, the former comedian who now does anti-Trump editorials every night on CBS, told his audience that the walk-away movement, which consists of Americans who are immune from Trump derangement syndrome and are...
The walk-away movement is a meme set up by pro-Republican sources at the midterms, which are happening just now, so it's to affect the ballot box. Wait till I go to Mike. Hold on. It's to affect the ballot box. Let me do this one right after. Makes sense. It's to affect the ballot box at the midterms in America, which out of the two parties that the Americans have to choose for, the one that Putin and the Russian Federation would prefer would be Donald Trump and the Republicans to stay in. And all their propaganda, useful idiots and activists in the independent media, while being independent, are just motivating people to vote. The hashtag walkaway thing, if you think about what it is, it's a meme put out there and propagated on Twitter to trend. so that morons would follow it and go, hey man, I'm going to be an individual and do what's trending on Twitter, man. Hey man. And whether these people are real or not, I dare say some of them are real, but they're just monkey see, monkey do, and that's the trick that has been implanted in the consciousness. And Mark Dicey's lack of ability to recognise that there's propaganda from all sides, and this has been Republican propaganda to try and make Democratic support wane in the youth before the election.
Are leaving the Democrat Party and posting videos online on their social media accounts explaining the obvious reasons. Stephen Colbert says that this is part of another Russian plot.
Recently, swarms of Russian troll accounts have made #WalkAway one of the highest ranking hashtags on Twitter. Oh, so Russian trolls make things trend. That makes sense. I knew there was no way that many people were excited about a Frasier reboot.
Right, so Mark Stice's lack of ability to accept that Russia, every country out there in the world, probably have fucking, to different degrees, some would argue, have farms, troll farms out there that can generate clicks to make things trend, to direct the conversation in certain countries, to try and sway the political discourse, discussion prior to elections, to try to sway the outcome in the direction that they want. And imagine they get really good at it. And then you get idiots like this who is, I think, just a useful idiot or a direct Russian bot. But they can't understand that he's a useful idiot for this. The lack of ability to think. Well, all the time he would quite happy talk about the idea of America and Britain fucking with other people's elections, but Russia trying to fuck with America's elections? No. Anyway, so that's the Russian bot. Now let's get to the party political broadcast at 18:30.
True. All right, let's turn to the domestic politics because there's a lot going on there.
Okay, 19 minutes in. Yes, we've got probably about 90% of the viewers will get to today. Right, now all we need to do is straight on with the party political broadcast. Now, this is a party political broadcast. If this was on television in the UK, they would have to come out and say who's funding this, who's supporting, so on and so forth. But this is put out there as just like, hey man, this is just a sweet old man with a sweet old beard just saying sweet old words.
Devin Nunes is out there saying that the Department of Justice and the FBI are stalling turning over documents in the hope the GOP will lose the House in the midterm elections, or to be more accurate, the Democrats will steal the House in the midterm elections with all those illegal immigrant voters here.
So remember, the Democrats were going to steal the last election until Trump won it, and then it was a fair election. Now it's going to be a fair election again. If the Republicans win, if the Republicans lose, it's because of stolen votes, because of illegal immigrants.
But that's exactly what's going on. If the Democrats get the House of Representatives, you know, the cover-up has succeeded, everybody's career is safe, the corruption will continue. So it's really important, if you're a GOP voter, you know, get out there on those midterms, because voter turnout on the midterms tends to be low, and the Democrats are counting on you staying home. Don't do that. Make sure you're registered to vote and get on out there and vote.
I wonder how many votes for the Republican Party he generates. Crazy. This is Mike Rivero, independent broadcaster, remember. What else have we got with him? 2715. See if I can get that.
Are abandoning the Democrats. And apparently Reuters Ipsos did a poll that revealed Democrats are shedding millennial votes, with support dropping by 9 percentage points
Hashtag walk away, motherfucker. Walk away. Walk away. That's a good song by Cast in the 80s.
Points just since 2016.
I thought all polls were lies and all that, but when polls say stuff you enjoy, when they come from websites you approve from, you'll blindly repeat them as if they're gospel. Poll says the millennials are walking away from the Democrats. Just as I've begged you to vote for the Republican parties, now I'm telling you Democrats, now the young Democrats hate the Democratic Party.
And the shift is most pronounced among white millennial men, who now favor Republicans over Democrats by 11 percentage points. Now, in 2016, Democrats led Republicans in this demographic by 12 percentage points. So that's a staggering swing of 23 percentage points in just 2 years. Now, the commentary that was in this article says that the poll basically disposes of a couple of assumptions.
So there's Mark Dice, independent from Mike Rivero, talking about the exact same stuff. Then what have we got? 55-35.
Waters is Raditz pressed him on the question of whether Democrats really want to abolish the Immigration and Customs Enforcement. And Ben Ray Lujan just ducked the question. He avoided it twice. And at the end, Ohio Republican Representative Steve Stivers pointed out to Martha that Lujan did not answer the question. And Raddatz agreed. The Democrats are desperate to flood this nation with illegal immigrants. They're going to offer them all kinds of free stuff that you are going to be forced to pay for.
Similar fear and rhetoric to try and get you to go and vote in a particular way at the midterms. It's so predictable, and there's Mike Rivero saying similar stuff to. I'm surprised he wasn't today talking about the F-35. Let's see who else is talking about the F-35. Oh, that's right, British Aerospace Systems talking about the F-35, how great it is, trying to sell you it. Well, the Russian industrial complex's propaganda wing is telling you how bad it is. Who to trust? I don't know. And you know what to do? Here, BAE, send me one and I'll give it a wee test flight and then I'll tell you truly if it's good or not. Why the CIA says we're in a Cold War with China. So again, this is an independent American source giving you very much anti-China propaganda while claiming to be independent. An independent news source. And the reason I keep an eye on this is, if you notice, since one of Trump's main agendas and focuses has been putting China under pressure, as well as a lot of other entities, North Korea, what was the other one I was thinking about there? North Korea, China, and Iran. That's what I was thinking. But interesting, the CIA, a member of the CIA is talking about, like, at the moment with all the trade stuff and stuff that's going on, there is a kind of Cold War with China and what's going on in the South China Sea. So interesting. Corn in the cob. Anyway, squirrel. Ken O'Thief. Pay me money and I'll make you a citizen and take debt away from you.
Very big YouTube channel, I believe. Aloha and welcome back. I'm going to answer 3 questions from KOK Question Time, but before I do that, let me just bring up important fact. SGT Report, a very big YouTube channel, I believe like 500,000 subscribers, was shut down a few days ago. The outcry, it appears, was sufficient, or something happened to influence YouTube to reverse them.
I've got another version of a possible version of events that might be different from some.
And apparently SGT Report is back online. This is important because, of course, there is an active attempt to suppress the truth, to censor free speech, and ultimately to shut down those who are actually bringing important information to the public. We all know this, but it's
people that are info warriors in the information war. YouTube and Twitter and Facebook are telling them we don't want to bake a gay cake. Now go away from our platform because these people are baking truther gay cakes. Literally.
It's interesting to note that one channel may have been saved on YouTube, brought back to life by the power of people in the audience. So take note of that. A couple of channels I want to mention that have been shut down over the last several months, which really, it would be great to get them back online so that their full audience can be watched.
I just wanted to see what he was talking about, to be honest. He's never, ever addressed the thousands of missing pounds. Him and Max Egan just went quiet on the whole subject. How many Muslims sitting on a wall?
Hello. Yes. How many Muslims were on Liverpool Pride March yesterday? Here in Liverpool, 2018.
Why were you checking out the fucking Pride? You poofy bastard.
I've been looking at photographs, Liverpool Echo, YouTube.
You've been looking at a lot of photographs of Pride, have you?
Twitter, internet in general, and I cannot find...
Oh, you're looking at the photographs on the interwebs now, are you?
...find pictures of large numbers of Muslims.
Oh, so the Muslims taking part in Pride will remove their burqa for the day.
That were on yesterday's Pride March here in Liverpool. I can't find any. Can anyone send any to me? Maybe I've missed them. I certainly couldn't find any large groups of Muslims carrying placards or banners proclaiming Allah's love for gays. I certainly didn't come across any of them. So, you see, the gay community here in Britain needs to smell the coffee and wake up rather sharpish. Trust me, because the more Islamified Britain becomes, the more dangerous it's going to become for gay people, as well as all of us for that.
Less gay cakes for everybody. Joe Wins, man, it's just like, it's like a lot of these people that bounce up and you lower your guard because they're saying some, like for example, when he was criticising Tommy Robinson, you might bounce up and go, oh, here, hold on, he's alright, he's criticising Tommy Robinson. But if you watch them for over a longevity, and even look what they're known for in the past, and listen to the way they speak when he says our common enemy and all that shit, you kinda understand where he's coming from. And each to their own, you can love this dude. He ain't my cup of tea, and that's how many Muslims sitting on a wall. Or for him, he was looked at thousands of pictures of Pride, he did. You're projecting a wee bit there, Jones, eh? And here's Nutjob meets with Russian delegation. Now, you can just... it's on Zionist report and stuff, and obviously all countries meet up and stuff. I forget the demographics now, which isn't very good when you're trying to show off, but Russia's the largest spoken language, unofficial language in Israel, and I think it's even spoke more commonly than English. Go and check out, and there's Russia's one of the largest contributors to the state Israel, and they have close bonds, and not only do the countries have close bonds, Putin and Nutjob, I would argue, with their brand of right-wing, nationalistic, hard-man fucking power people fucking politics are very similar politically. And put Trump on that in that bracket as well. Then you've got three dons of the New World Order. Tim Baldyfool.
A few days ago, YouTube took down 4 videos from Alex Jones's YouTube channel and issued a guideline strike. This means they won't be able to do a live stream for about 30 days. Disputed by experts. We have pulled it down for editorial review, and we'll update it once that review is complete. The Root is part of the Fusion Media Group, and full disclosure, I used to work for Fusion. I left a few years ago.
He used to work for Fusion before he came independent, and before he worked for Fusion, he used to work for Vice magazine. And go and check out who Fusion is, and go and check out who Vice is.
The Root is not a simple blog. It is owned by, essentially, Univision, so theoretically it is well-funded. They put out a story where they claimed that Soviet actors, not Russian, Soviet. The Soviet Union hasn't existed for a long time, but yes, they said Soviet over and over again.
So again, bouncing in, calling everybody fake news apart from him. And this is a guy who took money from Paul Joseph Watson and went to Sweden just before, probably 9 months before they had their election. Right, let's have a wee look at Stefan Molyneux.
Hi everybody, this is Stefan Molyneux from Free Domain Radio. So if you've been...
Free Domain Radio, is that just something he's made up?
On the web and you've been interested in...
God, he is the Iron Giant. Although, look, the pressure must be getting to him. He's like, even with that big studio light in his face, the bags under his eyes are
in
growing.
Islam, you have probably come across the videos of Dr. Bill Warner. He holds a PhD in physics and math and has been a university professor, businessman, and applied physics. He is the founder of the Center for the Study of Politics.
I once heard somebody say they might not tell you what you think, but they certainly tell you what to think about. So you're going to watch this by self-proclaimed fucking experts and walk away thinking you have an idea of political Islam from two white cunts sitting on YouTube. So it's not so much about the content. Please go and listen to it on your own back. I'm talking about the overlapping agendas from all these independent, apparent independent journalists, and I call them members of the Truth-for-Industrial Complex.
I'm Lauren Southern, and
hey guys, I'm Sugar Tits.
And we just completed our Australia tour, which was a massive success. And no one expected it to happen, but we will be seeing you soon in New Zealand.
So what you want to do is you want to go to axiomatic.events to pick up your tickets.
Fucking hell, man. The fucking people down under can't get rid of those pair of bastards.
Matt Gaetz, who's...
He looks on these fucking... He looks a bit... He's getting a bit homeless looking.
Busy last week.
Licking Bobby. This guy's getting globalist licking Bobby.
Globalist booty.
Globalist Bobby? He's getting fucking sexual.
He's been shadow banned on Twitter. They went, oh, this is a weak son of a bitch right here. Little candy ass is rich daddy, involved in sugar and industrial stuff. You know, oh, little candy ass is scared of us. He threw Alex under the bus and went along with the lie that Alex...
He really looks done in, doesn't he? He looks like he's been in a war and a half. This is the best bit. He starts crying.
I don't even know what to say at this point. Because I've run my course, not with the censorship and the attacks, but I just belong to some other age, I guess. Because there isn't any immediacy. There isn't any concern. There's just kind of jellyfish.
Jellyfish, man. Jellyfish liberals.
Mean nothing. Like, we have total illegal censorship going on. We have them bragging about it. We have them dead to rights. No one will attack. And then I'm being totally shut down because we're writing reports and getting it to Congress, and they're beginning to act. I'm not that damn smart. You know how easy this is? Jesus. But no one wants to do it. No one has the instinct or the will to execute anything real. They only execute failure. Over and over and over again. But getting the failure, but getting it as the public begins to look like servile hippopotamuses. Lobotomized, and you're like, oh, well, just join the establishment. It sees the... And then, oh, the establishment's feeding on the subhumans? Oh, let me look at the establishment are like a bunch of craved vampires on PCP. I sure as hell don't want to join them. And then I just come to the realization out of trillions of worlds, we're going to probably die. And everything we did as a species and all of our beauty and all of our goodness will just fail. And we're going to go down the tubes because a bunch of inbred child molesters in Hollywood had some psychotic dream that they wanted to kill everybody. And so we all just rolled over by peer pressure and gave into it and never executed anything real, never did anything real, never took action when...
And you thought it was a bad... You thought you were having a bad day? You're listening to Alex Jones? Imagine, right, the amount... A lot of us have been there at some point under his spell. Imagine people under this guy's spell now, literally thinking the world is going to end.
All the tools were right there in our hands because we weren't meant to. We couldn't do it. We didn't want it. You've betrayed your birthright to your family. To everything people did for you. You piss on it. You shit on it. And you think you're strong because you did something bad.
Woo! You know Alex Jones is having a meltdown when he starts cursing.
And then you sit there when we're 2 inches away from collapsing like Venezuela. There'll be death in the streets, millions starved to death. It'll never be on the news. And you'll be so stupid you'll never even know how you shit on it.
You'll be so stupid you'll think Alex Jones is really crying here.
Everything good. How you crapped all over your birthright.
He's a fucking fixated with shit and piss, isn't he?
When it was handed to you on a golden platter. And while these cowards, these globalists, for 10 years have been building armored fortresses all over the world in the middle of nowhere, when they got this big-ass plan cooked up to fuck everybody over.
I said fuck, man, no way! That's some fucked up shit, man. He's saying fucked up shit. So there's Alex Jones having a meltdown. What else have we got here? Three Dons, Stefan, Alex, cult at Tommy Robinson.
Tommy! Tommy, your boys! Allah was a pedo! Muhammad was a pedo! Allah is a pedo! Allah is a pedo! Allah is a pedo! Your prophets are nonce! Your prophets are nonce! Muhammad is a pedo! Hey! Muhammad was a pedo! Muhammad is a pedo! Hey! You dirty scum! Dirty scum! Off our streets! 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 You can stick your fucking Islam up your ass! You can stick your fucking Islam up your ass! You can stick your fucking Islam! Stick your fucking Islam! Stick your fucking Islam up your ass! I'd rather be a Nazi than a Muslim!
That's not really that good a chant. I'd rather be a Nazi than a Muslim. But hopefully it gives you some idea of some of the elements that are out there. The Tommy Robinson mob, the political elements behind them are using to motivate these people.
Let's get to the front now! Muhammad was a pedo! 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 Oh, Tommy! Oh, Tommy! Tommy Robinson! Oh, Tommy!
Crazy.
Tommy Robinson! Come on, man! Come on, dickheads! Come on! Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! Whose streets? Whose streets? Whose streets?
Now got football fans getting organised.
Breaking news from Tommy Robinson's lawyer.
Waka waka waka.
The appeal court judges who heard his case a couple of weeks ago have advised that they will finally be issuing their ruling. They said they will be doing so on Tuesday, July 31st, or on Wednesday, August 1st. I'm afraid they were not more precise than that. I suspect they will have written a detailed and lengthy ruling and will read it out from the court. Tommy will be joining via video link from prison, as he did during the appeal itself. Tommy's lawyers say that if the appeal goes the way we all hope it will, Tommy would be released right away and he could be back reunited with his family immediately. Onley Prison is just an hour away from Tommy's home in Bedfordshire. At the family's request, I will be going back to London, not only to cover the verdict as a journalist, but hopefully to welcome Tommy
for
back,
shekels.
give him a big handshake and a hug, and to finalize any payments to his lawyers. I'm very proud of the work that our Rebel viewers have done these past months, keeping hope alive, keeping the story alive, and very importantly, to crowdfund Tommy's legal fees. Tommy doesn't work for the Rebel anymore, but he still fights for the cause we believe in. And what they do to Tommy today, they'll do to the rest of us tomorrow. I only found out about this verdict date this morning, and I immediately went online to buy my plane ticket. Since the judges aren't specific about which day they will be issuing
Money up.
I have to fly in by Monday night in case they go on Tuesday morning. Unfortunately, buying a last-minute economy class ticket, even on Expedia, is about $2,000 Canadian, or just over 1,000 British pounds. I spoke to a hotel I used last time, and they offered me a 15% discount to come back, but it's still expensive, and I'll need that hotel room for 3 nights. Again, because I don't know if the judges are going to wait until Wednesday for their ruling. It's not ideal, but I have to go back over there to report on the verdict because I just don't trust a word that the mainstream media says about Tommy. They told bald-faced lies about his appeal hearing. The Guardian lied, Channel 4 lied, the BBC lied, and they're going to lie again about this one. I want to be there to report accurately and fairly on the verdict. And of course, I want to see our friend and welcome him to freedom and tell him how much support he has around the world. If you can help cover my flight and hotel, I'd be grateful. Please go to TommyTrial.com. This is obviously separate from his legal defense fund, 100% of which goes to his lawyers, and 100% of any surplus which goes to his family. When I was in London for his appeal hearing, I made about 10 videos.
If you want an idea how much money these people can rake in after doing a good appeal, Count Spunkula is a good frame of reference. He raked down £2,300,000 in a day or two. Fuck me, man. That's one hell of an incentive to get fucking caught up in that crap. But I'm sure Count Spunkula is the alt-right. He's just a cum dumpster.
And more than 100 tweets from court itself. And Twitter Analytics says those tweets were seen 5.7 million times. So I think we're getting the word out despite the liars in the mainstream media. I promise you I'll do the same this time. I'll tell the truth. I'll call out the Tommy haters for their lies. Please help me get back over.
This guy's a lawyer, and he tried to propagate the story that Tommy Robinson, his previous charge of contempt of court, they tried to say he was done for attempted journalism. So that's tonight's Cult of Tommy Robinson update. Let's have a look at Britain first.
Here we are in a quiet residential street in the town of Newtonards, which is a medium-sized town just outside of Belfast. And just look, on every single lamppost, on every street corner, outside every house, are just flags everywhere. British flags, Scottish flags, English flags. There's flags of loyalism everywhere.
Yeah, any Irish flags. I like the Irish flag as well for time to time.
You look, last week, in Northern Ireland, you had, of course, the 12th of July celebrations.
Right, I'll be honest, I don't think that's listen to how this guy paints it. I think that's gang signs. It's close to apartheid, isn't it? You can, like, I dare say there'll be some Fenians staying in those areas, but I doubt they're hardly likely to feel welcome running about with a Celtic top or a Henry's top on.
National holiday here, and just imagine scenes like this in England.
No, thank you very much. In England, okay.
And believe me, if you go to the end of this road, or you turn right, or you turn left at the end of this road, everywhere you go, there's flags, flags, flags.
There's bits when they have the pavements, man, the curb painted red and white.
It's amazing. It's patriotic, British culture, undisturbed by political correctness.
It's militarism in an area of land that's had to be had a militarised attitude by the citizens for some time, because the land's been getting fought over for a fucking 400 years.
And it's just great to see. The last bastion, the last part of the United Kingdom that is still British is Northern Ireland. And that is why this Saturday...
The last bit that's British is Ireland.
Today, the 28th of July at 3 p.m. in the town of Newtonards, Britain First will be holding a regional branch meeting. So if you're in Northern Ireland and you want to come along, you want to meet me, you want to find out what Britain First is all about, come and join us in the town of Newtonards, just outside of Belfast.
So what else has been happening?
And beating up a dog.
Oh, sorry.
That's fine. But I will appear. I've set up here back.
Can I ask you a question? Why did you do that? Why have you taken money out of Jada's account? That is so low, Viking. Like they've just literally been sent to prisons.
Yeah, I know.
Long story short, when that other one was in jail, another one used her credit card and stole money off her, which is very funny. Put Britain first. Like robbing off your pals.
Well guys, today I am feeling like a very stupid wee girl. I trusted people. I trusted Britain First. I trusted Paul Golding. I trusted them because I thought they were true patriots. Now, in my time with Britain First, I saw a lot that I didn't like. And last night, Paul Golding tried to blackmail me with something that I had nothing to do with. Anyone who has actually read the article will realise that they are accusing me of knowing that someone stole money on Jada. I knew nothing of it. I can honestly say, hand on heart, that I knew nothing.
Hand on my heart.
The money being stolen, and as soon as I did know that the guy had admitted it, both Wayne and I cut contact with him altogether, and his close friends as well. Paul then turned things very messy. There's a lot to the story. The accusations are absolutely ridiculous. I have spoke to my solicitor. I've spoke to police about this.
Just another day in paradise for you and me. Oh, think twice. Robbing off right when succumb in paradise. Do, 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 do. Just think about it. Now, here's a guy that talks about hobgoblins and all that the vast majority of the time, well, sort of leading you down the path of thinking Trump is really, really good. He sucks in the fucking esoteric fucking hobgoblin pagan people, doesn't he? That like people that can't comb a beard.
So,
or work a phone.
Since 2011 to today, my website, Thomas Sheridan Arts, has been closed down because it is a danger to the man. It's...
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. You're in such a danger to the man. Your website's been taken down. Methinks you've fucking, I don't know, you've been using it as Russian bots, you've been caught out in advertising scams, you've been using it, I don't know, you broke some terms and conditions somewhere. Somebody's telling you they ain't baking a gay cake, fucking hobgoblin.
It's quite as simple as that. Who was the man, predominantly as the psychopath Hillary Clinton and the neocons which surround her? They're extremely disgusted.
The neocons around Hillary Clinton. Hold on, mate, you're promoting Trump. You're a very confused fat man.
That they're not in government, and what they spoke about firstly as being, well, we have to somehow deal with these people who cause problems for the establishment online and spread fake news and got Donald
Yeah, that's right, you do spread fake news and you got help get Donald Trump elected.
Well, we have to shut them down, but they
So he's part of a coordinated propaganda network, and his website's been shut down because it's been blatantly obvious that his website's been used for those purposes, and now he's saying, because they're a danger to the man.
For the longest time, we've needed President Trump to acknowledge online censorship on...
Yeah, Trump, will you please acknowledge our plight over here on the Twitters?
Platforms like YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. What he puts out there on his Twitter account has the power to affect consumer confidence in any one of these social networks, and it...
I have the power!
Forces the mainstream media to grapple.
These are the people that were fucking 5 years ago were telling you about the Matrix. Now they're holding up the ability to fucking use YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook as life support machines.
With these ideas also. Trump's Twitter account is perhaps one of his greatest weapons because it allows him to bypass the mainstream media and reach his base, and indeed the world, directly. The leftist media often try tirelessly to write articles about his tweets, placing them into a different context in order to misrepresent him to the public in a pointless attempt to reinstate the
leftist, the opposing side of the propaganda constantly try and counter his propaganda messaging.
Ideological filter bubble of their biased narratives.
Pretty sure Donald Trump tweeted Britain First stuff. Pretty sure he did. There's a big hoo-ha about it. You can't really fucking, I mean, anyway, but he did tweet Britain First stuff.
For the most part, it almost always backfires on them, and Trump's unfiltered message reaches more people than ever.
Yes, they're God. Oh, that is Trump. Here's a wee ginger atheist guy now turned into a Christian ideologist, Trump supporter. Go figure. So this is the censorship happening. Is this tweet the Trump the turning point?
Hey friends, thank you so very much for tuning in to my main YouTube channel, which to my complete and utter shock is back up. I'm as shocked that it was reinstated last night around 8:25 p.m. Central as I was shocked when it was terminated without cause and without explanation. I got an email today from my good friend Liz Crokin who says, "You are being protected by white hats. They got you reinstated." Now let me tell you something. At least part of that is true, and it was you, my friends, the supporters of SGT Report, who turned out in droves on Twitter, tweeting directly to @TeamYouTube, and in some cases directly to the CEO of YouTube. And it's so many of you that made videos on my behalf, and so many of you in the alternative media that shared stories and articles about what happened to my channel.
SGT Report was...
This has happened to many channels on many occasions when they've been taken down and it's the end of the world, and then 2 seconds later they go back up. I've got another theory. You know, sometimes algorithms hit channels with strikes, so on and so forth. And most of the channels that this happened to pretend to be of a particular persuasion. There's lots of fucking bots out there from all sides, fucking out there bombarding, mass flagging, doing all sorts of retarded shit on channels and fucking stuff like that. I think these channels get hot with mass flagging at some point, which means the algorithm just goes and cancels the channel, and then when YouTube gets the appeal from the person whose channel's been terminated, They go, oh, hold on, that was a mistake. Oh, you can see, look at the pattern here. This was clearly mass flagged. Reinstate it. Is that a possibility? Am I just crazy? But anyway, I thought it was interesting to see all the censorship that's happening and the shutting down of the alt-right. Now let's see everybody talking about South Africa. So a lot of the South African political propaganda that's getting propagated in the truth-industrial complex with Lauren Sugar Tits Sutherland and the like, white genocide bullcrap, you can clearly see how it links into the whole truth-industrial complex's political agenda, I would argue. What one was this? Oh god, that must have been a good one. So let's see if we can find it, eh? No, but you can get a fucking hell of a lot of other ones along that lines, right? Interesting that's been taken out.
If it isn't obvious, I'm not white. I'm brown.
My God, I'm brown too.
You're baldy. I'd have said baldy first. You look like a big baby. He's a baby! He's a baby!
Places like London.
Well, they did used to live in places like London and Birmingham, and they are now going individual.
I rate Bear. He does cross promotion with Computing Forever. Again, they might not tell you what to think, but they tell you what to think about, and all this divisive information or stuff surrounding race, so that people propagate these arguments from all sides. It's it's designed to be very divisive, I would argue, and you can clearly see the pattern. And it certainly isn't bringing people together. So the white genocide bullcrap linked in with the South African propaganda. Here's the sort of a stuff coming out of Sweden, and depending what universe you're in, would have thought this was a good story. Oh, a Swedish activist stops deportation of Afghan man. Apparently he was a bad man.
I'm just waiting for the flight attendant to
came in through Rimond as well.
I'm right now at an airport, at an airplane, and there's a person getting deported to Afghanistan. Please don't take my phone, don't touch my phone. And the people here working are trying to take my phone away from me, just because the person is going to get deported to Afghanistan, where there's war, and he's going to get killed.
Yeah, please do not touch her phone, because that's her private property. And only savages do not respect other people's private property. In a civilized country, in an airport, we have this thing called the airport security. The gentlemen that have tasers, who are...
And you can best guess what attitude this guy has towards the lefty protecting the refugee in Sweden. And yet again, these incidents and things like this are happening all over the world, and all of a sudden everybody's pointing in the direction of Sweden for whatever direction. Oh, what's wrong with Sweden? I don't know. I never knew Sweden existed up until a couple of months ago when Tim Pool and everybody else in the Truther Industrial Complex started pointing me in that direction. Ask Sugar Tits 1 minute. No! What the fuck? That must have been a good one. Oh no, that was a good one. Let's see if our wee band of merry men has been removed by the user for some reason. I'm black, I can't be racist, man. Surely some of our wee minions has mirrored this and put it up on somewhere else. Oh no, man, it's 2 clips. Is it just all YouTube? Is that what that is? Or is no? Oh god, why is she deleted it? She's pro Lauren Sutherland, she just put up a video. Ah, okay, it's a shame. But not to worry, I do have more Sugar Tits on the go.
So I'm headed to an area called Lakemba in Sydney, Australia, and it's supposed to be a very high...
Now, think of Wag the Dog. Imagine these people are actually trying to produce hit pieces and they're part of Wag the Dog. They're agent provocateurs.
Muslim population area, kind of like...
Their team admitted, they even admit that their security team tipped off the police that were coming.
Markslow or Molenbeek in Europe. I think that in Australia, the no-go zone areas wouldn't be as bad as Europe just because they've
Yeah, these are slightly cannot go zones.
Got less mass immigration, but I've heard some pretty bizarre stories about riots, about attacks, kind of grooming gangs in Lakemba as well. So I want to see what's actually going on there. Is this actually a no-go zone? Or is it in...
And if this is the best footage and audio she can get from going into a no-go zone, there is no-go zone.
Integrating perfectly. The only way I get to know these things is if I go on the ground and people coming out of shops to look at us and find out what we were doing. Men started yelling.
Oh, a big massive camera crew was walking down the street and people were looking at us. Oh!
In Arabic across the street.
Oh, and in that area full of Arabs, they were speaking Arabic.
I hadn't even been in Lakemba 10 minutes.
Like, they're just like, the fuck have they got cameras for?
Before someone had tipped off the media and they came running to combat me and tell me this was a perfectly safe area and I had nothing and no reason to be there. Almost immediately.
And notice they're walking down with a full camera crew, which would include a microphone. They say that people shouted at them in Arabic. They don't play it. They also say the media came and challenged us. And they don't play any of the footage at all. It can't be that compelling if it's not part of your piece, hen.
The media's story was proven to be wrong. As we went to go for a walk to the local mosque, a very high-ranked police officer came up to me and begged with me, do not go there.
Please, you've got a track record of going to Muslim areas and telling them Muhammad's a paedophile and fucking Allah's a pedo. This upsets the Muslims because they have some strong beliefs about Allah and Muhammad not being a pedo. And it's a bit provocative. You might not agree with them, but their opinion. You might even be telling the truth, who knows? But you don't put on a Rangers strip and go into a Celtic supporters club and tell them you can tell with the smell. And that they're totty picking bastards. Yep. Celtic, you're God. You Celtic fans, your God is a fucking pedo. I'm only telling you the truth. I'm not an agent provocateur. I'm exercising my freedom of speech. And the cops are coming up to you and go, look, listen, we can't be asked dealing with a fucking a riot. Can you please not put on a Rangers top and going to the Celtic Supporters Club.
Southern, is it?
Speaking.
Inspector Rick Ages from Campsie Police.
Yep.
I've been informed that you're intending to attending the Lakemba Mosque, is that correct?
I actually have no intentions of attending. I was just planning on walking through the streets and seeing how the culture was here.
Yeah, how's the culture here? Hey, Muslim, you know your fucking God is a dirty fucking pedophile fucking filth-mongering bastard? How's your culture? Hey, dirty Muslim. Hey, stinky one. Hey, do you know you stink? You know you're Muslim, you're Muhammad and Allah are pedophile fucking filth. Hey, I hate halal meat. Hey, look, I've got shit on a stick. Come here, dirty Muslim, so I can poke you. Hey, look, there's a stupid woman in a ninja costume. Do you know that you're repressed and you...
Yes?
Yeah.
Are you satisfied with that?
Yeah.
So, where do you intend on walking to now?
I was just going to walk out and check how the mosque was.
Check where the mosque was?
Yeah. Would I not be allowed to attend if I wanted to?
I've got grave concerns that you may cause an imminent breach of the peace down there.
Yeah, putting on a Rangers top and going into a Celtic Supporters Club and reminding them you can tell with the smell might cause a breach of the peace. Seems perfectly reasonable to me. I can understand where this Australian copper is coming from and he isn't shagging Allah secretly behind the camera.
So I'm asking you not to attend.
Why would I cause a breach of the peace?
Because it's highly religious down there.
And you hate Muhammad and think he's a pedo.
Would it be me causing a breach of the peace or would it be the people there?
Well, your presence may cause them to be, be offensive and be objective to your attention.
Tammy Wright kept this as a straw man because she would not say this stuff. What the fuck did she do down in Luton as part of a fucking freedom of speech fucking retarded shit? Fucking flyers with Muhammad and fucking something's a pedo on it, you idiot. Fucking hell.
And so that would be them being offended by me.
Can you not interview me?
Walking about, poking people with cameras, asking provocative questions. Oh man, I wish that stupid fucking... that woman's thing that's away. That makes no sense. The one that she's fucking removed, Jonesa or Joan, I forget even her name. That one there that's been removed. She bounces. She's talking about the reporters down in Australia going up to Northern Southern and going, they don't even want to debate her. They're just trying to say something provocative by calling her a racist dog. They don't even want to debate. That's exactly what she does. She goes up to Muslims and goes, here, do you want a flyer saying Muhammad is a pedo? I'm doing this in response to people saying Jesus was gay. I'm his lover, and that upsets me.
The local community walk around here without any fear. I walk around here without any fear.
Right, but I'm a critic.
You're causing a scene, hen. Now fuck off, you Canadian piece of shit. Out of my fucking town and stop causing problems where there was none before. Oh, and here's our independent propaganda piece about white genocide in South Africa, and if you were to say what political entity would be happy for this to be propagated, it would be the old British Empire landowners of South Africa who were supportive and pretty much backed up the apartheid fucking government in South Africa. I rest my case as to why this dumb bitch is fucking racist. As well as stupid.
I'm here in Sydney, Australia, with Stefan Molyneux.
Stefan! Hello, Stefan! Hello, Stefan! The fucking Iron Giant, check him out.
And we're going to be discussing my little run-in with the police in Lakemba, an alleged no-go zone, I think now confirmed no-go zone.
No, it's not confirmed you went there. There was no Muslims Allah Akbar in you that you're referring to it being a no-go zone. The police officer didn't want you to go down and fucking start a riot, you stupid bitch. Ah, God, anyway, I'm not going to
If you'd asked me about 3 years ago if I thought that YouTube political commentators could one day exert any demonstrable political influence, I would have been fairly sceptical of such a notion, but
Oh, look at the fucking... Look at Little and Large here. The bearded one sent to save us. One UKIP vote at a time.
Really shouldn't have been. Considering the power of the mainstream media to dramatically alter public perception, why wouldn't a growing alternative media be able to do the same? Particularly when independent content creators are...
Independent content creators, they all say the same thing, and now we're getting you to vote for the same political party. And there's the thing that was removed by her. So there you go, there's a wee walk through from Brian Harvey to Sugar Tits Sutherland and a lot of the other members of the Truther Industrial Complex. They are the neocons. They have basically wound us all up to vote on the extreme right side of politics. They have made conservatism young and cool and hip and trendy again. And they've even got gay, straight, lesbian, gamers, every fucking freak of the circus to motivate you to vote on the right side of politics and propagate extreme right and political agendas, not just nationally, although they say they're nationalists, but globally, it's a global nationalism. The fucking irony is fucking superb. Anyway, hopefully you all enjoyed that, and remember, if you do appreciate what I do with not the InfoWars Nightly News, the original alternative look at the alternative media, sceptical about the skeptics, and watch the motherfucking Watchmen, because somebody's got to do it. Forgot how to do that this morning. Make sure you do thumbs it up, share it with your friends, family and foes. Please help the show and the channel grow. I rely on you guys and girls at home to do that for me, so please, please, please help. If you appreciate and get value from what I do, there's a Patreon and PayPal buttons down below. It's digital busking, everything's available and accessible to everybody free of charge. I hope to do such a good job that people will consider using the Patreon and PayPal buttons with your spare change, not your life savings. And a big mega thank you to everybody that does do that. It means so much. Thanks for watching tonight. Tune in tomorrow afternoon when I do the World InfoWar News. Then I compare the messaging from the BBC to RT to the UK column all simultaneously, so you can get a better perspective of the messaging coming out from all the independent sources out there that are only going to tell you the truth. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to say hi to everybody in the chat. There's Jan Smith. How you doing, Jan? Nice to see you. And Tammy Wright. Tazzy, how you doing, Tazzy? Nice to see you in. Devon, Jamesy boy, in the evening, guys and girls. HK, how you doing, HK? Thanks for joining. Charlotte, how you doing, Charlotte? John Smith in the evening, John. Sarah Jane in the evening, guys and girls. Thanks everybody for joining. HK, Tazzy, Charlotte, John, Dickhead, Jan, Tazzy. What's that? Try, Tammy. HK in the evening, one and all. Sarah Jane. Jake as well, Tammy, Avadoom, aka Tom in the evening, mate. Nice to see you. And Devon, Jan, Tazzy. Thanks for joining everybody in the chat. Oh my god, what the fuck? Tammy Wright, Apple Charlotte, Lazy Jesus, how you doing, Lazy? HK, Lopsum was in earlier as well. How you doing, Lopsum? Jamesy boy, Charlotte. Collyman was in as well in the evening. Collyman, Lopsum, Jamesy boy. Oh my god, what the fuck? Apple Charlotte in the evening, one and all. Thanks for joining everybody as well. Stay tuned this Friday. I might be doing, as promised, the first Friday of every month. I see through the Fear Porn Friday. So if anybody wants to get involved with that, make sure you sub up and bell up on the channel. HK, Charlotte, Devon, Dickhead, Tammy, Lopsum in the evening, everybody. Thanks so much for joining. There's James in as well, a different James, Stephen, Tazzy. Oh my god, what the fuck. So hopefully I've managed to say hi to everybody in there at some point. There's the alt-rights, Russian bots came along. Just looking at the figures, there's no like 19 people watching. I mean, anyway, it's a constant pattern, and if you watch the thumbs up, the thumbs down, you just go boop, 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 boop. and it's very telling. The alt-right propagandists have to use brown shirt tactics, fucking bacon lady attitudes on the YouTube. I'm gonna dump you down with all my 19 fake accounts. My God, have people not got better things to do? In the evening, one and all, hopefully you've enjoyed that. I'm going off to watch a wee bit of Star Trek and get an ice cream. I'm fucking starving. And an apple just doesn't cut it. It doesn't take away the hunger. So thanks for joining, everybody. Hopefully catch you tomorrow afternoon for another World InfoWars News at 1 live. Alrighty, YouTube sketches.
Keeps clear.
Tonight at 11.
Doom! It's a plan! And I'm angry! I'm not a slave! I've broken the conditioning! It doesn't work on me! I'm primitive, I'm real, I know the enemy, and if we can have this spirit of normal humanity spread, it's over for the globalist! Break the conditioning now! Excuse me.
This is not the InfoWars Nightly News, where the answer to 1984 is not $19.95 plus shipping and handling, but the answer is to try and understand the double-barrel bullcrap, the double-speak, and the Orwellian wonderland we now find ourselves in. So sit back and relax as I take you through a real alternative look at the news and so-called alternative media alike. Enjoy.
Keeps clip.